Welcome to Day 3 on the Trail. We have 4 readings for today. From Luke chapter 1, verses 26 through 56. From Genesis chapter 2, verse 4b through chapter 4, verse 26. The 5th Psalm, and the Wisdom of Ben Sirach chapter 2, verses 1 through 18. In the Gospel of Luke today, we will ask the question, why is Zechariah punished and Mary blessed? On Day 2, we looked at the question that Zechariah asked Gabriel in verse 18. How does that question of Zechariah compare to the question Mary asks in verse 34? Notice that Zechariah asks, how will I know this will be? In contrast, Mary asks, how can this be since I'm a virgin? They are relatively similar or parallel constructions. So why does Gabriel punish Zechariah, essentially placing him in a timeout? And why is Mary blessed for her question? How do their questions differ to get such a different response from Gabriel? Now we will see similar dichotomies in the Bible, where the author will put 2 very parallel constructions together, and the difference will often highlight a central point. So in the story of Zechariah and Mary, what is the point or the lesson that is found in the divergent outcomes to their similar questions? Notice that Mary is not asking if this will happen, but how this will happen. Mary is trusting that God will do what God says he will do. She is not asking, are you going to do this for sure? She is saying, what do I need to do to be involved in this? How is this going to happen? I am a virgin. I don't understand how this will take place, but I do believe that you will do what you say you will do. This is a very different question than the one being asked by Zechariah. Zechariah is asking, how will I know this will be so? Zechariah is looking for proof. Mary is not. Here we get a very early lesson in Luke's Gospel about faith. Mary trusts God and is looking for more details on how she can be involved. Zechariah, however, is looking for proof that God will do what he says. So again, very early on in Luke, we find an example of what faith looks like. In Genesis, we find our first chiasm, which is a literary device that appears repeatedly in the Bible. A chiasm is based on the Greek letter chi, or the English letter X. It's a literary construction where parallel points or topics are set on opposite ends of the X, as shown on this slide. This is followed by a parallel set of subpoints, which are indented, and so on. Therefore, as a reader, you start with a point, and then go to a subpoint, and then to a subpoint, and so on. Then the course reverses in the middle, and the parallel subpoints take you back to the original, the highest level topic, forming half of an X. So in the case of Genesis 2, you'll notice that we start off with the serpent. The serpent then tempts the woman tempts the man, highlighted in blue, and the man eats, highlighted in green. Then the blame game begins. The man blames the woman, a parallel, highlighted in green. The woman blames the serpent, highlighted in blue with its parallel. Then the serpent is cursed relative to the woman. Now in Genesis 2, the chiasm actually continues with the woman being cursed relative to the man being cursed relative to the ground. One of the central points of the overall chiastic structure found in Genesis 2 is a punishment fits the crime motif. That is, the woman sins against the man and is punished relative to the man. The serpent sins against the woman and is punished relative to the woman. And the man who sins against the ground from which he was created is punished relative to the ground. They are punished relative to the one they sinned against or deceived. We will see this construction again in the Bible, including in the Lord's Prayer, as it is recorded in Matthew's Gospel. Also in Genesis 2, we find the first question of the Bible. It is a single Hebrew word, eyeha, which means, "Where are you?" When Adam and Eve are hiding in the bushes after they've eaten of the tree, God calls out, "Eyeha, where are you?" Now I am quite sure that God knows exactly where they are. He is not asking for their geolocation. This is an introspective question. Do they know where they are? Why are they hiding from God? Do they know where they are in their relationship with God? We see this question again in the story of Cain and Abel, where God asks, "Where is your brother Abel?" God knows what has happened. He knows where Abel is. God is asking Cain, "Do you know where your brother is? Do you know where you are relative to me?" And this is our question as well. Today, where are you? This question echoes throughout the generations. Where are we in our relationship with God? Are we hiding? And if so, are we hoping to be found? Thank you for joining us today. Until next time, stay on the trail.